I don't listen to what people say, cause you talk a lot don't really mean you know the way. Out here on my grind cause I'm trying to elevate. Get up in the morning, hit the ground and meditate. Ready for my day, got a plan, I don't need to wait. Mind clear, energy, and I'm feeling great. It's a good life, it could be another way. To me it's everything, never just another day. Nah.
Welcome to the No Titles Necessary podcast.
It's your boy. That's right, you weren't supposed to go first that time. My bad, I forgot. Let's do it one more time, okay?
You better stop fucking with me.
It's okay.
All right,
I forgot.
Welcome to the No Titles Necessary podcast. It's your girl, hot motherfucking Toddi, actress, model, extraordinaire.
And it's your boy, Demir, Mr. Godiva.
Whatever.
When we talk from the streets to the politics.
And from the bed to the boardroom, baby. Okay.
What's going on, Toddi? What you got? Why you be having issues with my sayings? Can I be who I am?
I don't got an issue with what you're saying. I got an issue with when you're saying it, you got to look at me when you say it. Yeah. Like you're saying it with intentions, like it's for me. Like you digging into the depths of my soul.
I'm just trying to be smooth like you. You know how you come out.
Godiva ain't got nothing on ganache,
the way you say that, extraordinaire. I be having a Godiva.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
You know, okay, let me be smooth with my chocolate over here, my chocolate self. Rich chocolate
you
self.
You ain't the only one chocolate?
I said I'm rich chocolate.
Whatever.
So how you doing today, Toddi?
I'm feeling amazing. I had a wonderful time last night. You know, I helped last night cater with the queen of the kitchen at the new spot Mo's Space, MIA.
Okay.
So I'm going to big him up and talk your shit. But I danced all night and I had a good time. And yeah, bitch woke up a little sore. But I'm okay, though. I'm happy.
That's what it's about. Listen, dancing and skating are the best workouts. You
I
get a
know.
full body
because you don't feel it.
Until the next day.
True. So how you feeling?
I thought you was gonna forget about me.
I wasn't gonna forget about you.
I feel special. I'm feeling good. Look, extra focus. No, I'm feeling good. Extra focus. Thankful for the people around me, you know, who are just as focused and motivated as I am. So that's always encouraging. You know, that means that we're about to do big things, manifest great things.
That's right.
You know, yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
Good. So let's manifest.
With my Godiva self.
Listen, if you're going to be Godiva, you got to say that shit right, okay?
I said it right.
But with my Godiva self, you put a little, you put the city boy version on it. That's what it is.
Now we're going back to the city girl.
City boy. I said city boy version. Yeah.
It's all in your head.
No, I said city boy.
I know, but I'm talking about the Siri thing? Yeah. All right, y'all. Welcome to episode 11.
11 of them
things.
We've been putting in that work.
11 of them things.
Shit, we be going so fast, y'all. Like, we been hitting episode after episode because it be hot. So we trying to get the fuck up out of here.
We welcome y'all to episode 11 where the title is 11. Ain't Worth the Time.
Ain't. Is it worth the time?
The time. Listen, we're going to go in a way that you're probably not thinking. But we're going to wait till that time to get into it. But right now, we're going to go ahead and get into our first segment. And we know what that is.
Talk your shit.
Talk your shit.
You better talk your shit.
Oh, shoot. You ready to talk your shit first?
I'm ready to talk my shit.
It look like you're ready because you already gave a little glimpse about who you about to talk about. So go ahead and get into it.
So I want to talk my shit today about Mo's Space MIA. It's in Miami Gardens, and it is a wonderful spot. So I'm just going to let y'all know right now, if y'all looking for a business meeting to create like your own business meeting, pop-up shop, you just want to vibe or have a birthday party, baby shower, any kind of family function, whatever's on your mind to create, give him a call. Okay, because he has the space if you got the time. And he's located on 16190 Northwest 27th Avenue in Miami Gardens, Florida. The number is 786-648-9002. Now, the brother's space is so nice. It is a wonderful space. Listen, we all know that we done been in some places, y'all. We be trying to support some people. And sometimes the spaces are not always the best, but we patrotizing. You know what I'm saying? So, wait, is that a word? Did I say patronize? Patriot, what's the word? Patronize. Wait, so what's the word?
That's not the right word.
That's not the right word.
Patronize?
Patronize. Because we're patrons. Patronizing.
They gonna get your ass when they hear this.
No, for real. I swear.
You got it. You good.
What was it?
To frequent as a customer.
Encyclopedia.
So it's patron. What did I say?
None of that.
Patronize?
Just
I
let it
say
go.
patronize.
They heard you on the record.
Anyway, if you want to get this man some motherfucking business, y'all call him, okay? Go ahead and get your pen. I'm telling you, the word is so freaking close. What's the word when somebody fucking with you?
Can
What's
I talk
that
my
word?
shit now?
But what's that word? Huh? Patronize?
No, she talk like when you agitate somebody. You think
Yes.
about, antagonizing.
No,
but
it's another word. It's a Keep going. Okay, so we're going to keep, because everybody confused, because
no, she
it ain't
confused.
just me. It ain't just me.
We didn't use the word.
It ain't just shut your ass. So anyway, always when I'm bigging up my talk, my shit, you always want to mess with.
You fucked up.
Tell me I fucked up.
Go ahead.
Okay. So go to Mo's Space MIA, y'all. It's a wonderful spot. I mean, I was there last night, and they had a poetry night, and Analogy was there, and May Rain was there, and G.S. Cole was there. So it was a lot of entertainment. And when I tell you I enjoyed myself, y'all, it's a beautiful space. So if you look at the book of space, just go ahead and call him. Old school. Just make that phone call, and he'll make sure he accommodate anything you need. All right.
They got a website they can check out.
Right now, since it's a new venue, I would have to get back with everyone on that, because right now he just has a call in.
We'll post it on our page. Just make sure y'all following our social media pages, and we'll be posting that on our Talk Our Shit segments that we highlight.
Yes. Big up.
Can I talk my shit now?
Go ahead and talk your shit. You've been talking shit the whole time. So go ahead and talk some shit. Talk your shit.
All right, I'm gonna talk my shit. I want to big up. I want to sprinkle a little black girl magic in this talk your shit segment on the day. I want to talk about Dudley's Professional Services, aka DPS. All right, Dudley's Professional Services LLC, rather. All right, DPS is a certified minority woman-owned business located in South Florida and Atlanta, Georgia. DPS has been providing community outreach, construction administration, project management, project control, permitting, and technical services since 2010. DPS has worked on contracts ranging from $1.5 million to $80 million. The president, Dudley Etienne Harvard, earned her BA in construction engineering technology from the FAMU in Tallahassee, Florida, holding several project engineering positions in commercial construction in the areas of education, parks and recreations, hospitality, and healthcare facilities. DPS has experience within the professional and construction sector. The team at DPS are knowledgeable and professional, as on their website it says, and I quote, "We've created a team that display creativity and quality with all assignments given. Our most pride takes place when we can be of assistance to small businesses and large businesses," end quote. So if y'all want to get in touch with this black girl magic and all she doing over there at DPS, you can holler at them on their website at dudleyservices.com. Why are you fucking up my talk your shit?
Because your spit fucking up your talk your shit.
So you gonna intentionally mess up mine?
No, I just
when I was
laughed.
smoothly going through mine.
Listen, I laughed.
Now, if you want to reach Dudley, DPS, you can reach them on their website at dudleyservices.com. That's DUDLYSERVICES.com. Dudley Services. You can reach their telephone number at 305-816-6470. And if you want to email them, you can email them at admin@dudleyservices.com. While she over here being an asshole when I'm talking my shit, I'm done talking my shit. Big ups.
Big up.
Now we about to get into it. It's about that
time.
You ready to get into this?
I'm ready to get into it.
Or you need to pour your cup and then you want to get into this?
I think I want to pour my cup, but I ain't got time, so it's okay.
You sure?
But we done already started.
It's about that time.
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 It's about that.
It's about that. Hey. We about to get into it. Y'all already know the main topic of the day on this episode 11 is
ain't worth the time.
Ain't worth the time.
It just ain't.
It
ain't worth it, or is it?
Is it? And today, basically, we want to talk about when you pass up on a perfect opportunity because you judged it by the appearance in that moment.
Yep. Been there before.
Wasn't worth your time, huh? Something that could come back to bite you later. But we're going to go ahead and get into this, and then we'll touch on that topic of, probably in the CYA and the mind food. Sure, why not? What we doing? We good? Mm-hmm. We cheers?
I just wanted to spread the love.
We saluting over here? Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into this, ladies and gentlemen. What do you reach for?
Do you want that?
Do you want it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just getting ready over here, y'all. We're getting ready to get into this topic already. Stated ain't worth the time. So what you got to say on that? When people passing up on a perfect opportunity because they judging it by the appearance at the moment.
You know, I guess for me, I am not a very judgmental person. So for me, I can't really say that I necessarily felt that way. But what I can say is that I have passed up opportunities before, or passed up something that I thought wasn't worth my time, but not so much because of the aesthetic or the appearance of it. You get what I'm saying? It was more like my intuition didn't lead me in that direction, you know, or it was something about the situation that just had me feeling on edge. And that could be fear transitioning into lack of trust for that person also. So it's just kind of like, that was kind of like why sometimes I couldn't say yes to something. You know?
So does it, I guess if you only really know it was a great opportunity if you go back and reflect or you come across it again.
Yes.
Right. So you got to come across it again and be like, damn, gosh, dog.
I should have did it.
It's kind of like that picture on social media where the women like the gangsters in high school and they passed over the nerds, and then later on in life, the nerds are the CEO, the business women.
And you're like, what?
And that same boy who you was on in high school, now he ain't doing nothing with himself. Sorry, no good.
Thank God, I'm happy I haven't had that happen to me in a sense of, you know, because I do have like a kind of approach on life where if it's meant to be, it'll come back to me kind of thing. Or I have like this mentality that if it feels right, I go with it. If it don't, it's even though it might have given me everything, like the money or the fame or whatever, it was like, it was something about that situation that wasn't right for me at the time.
Right.
So the only, you know, that brought a question up to me when we said we were going to do this topic. I asked the question, is regret the emotion? So regret is the emotion after you don't, right. For some people, regret is the emotion though. After regret itself is considered an emotion that you have after you didn't do something. Right.
Right.
So what is the feeling called prior to making the decision? Because I think that is what needs to be identified so that regret doesn't exist. You get what I'm saying?
I think it goes on perception in itself though. Like, the guy who wants the trophy girl, but the trophy girl is so shallow on the inside, but you wanted that shell and you thought that shell was good for you, but the shell was actually nothing. It was just
empty.
the shell. Right. The guys who we know that have these
and women.
Yeah. Oh no, I can only speak on what I know on
because a lot
on
of
the male
women
perspective. But in that, like, that's what it was going back to. Like, how do you know it was a great opportunity, or how do you know you would have regretted it? Because you said something key. You said, yo, you're the type of person that if it passes you, that you believe it's going to come back around, right?
Or no, in some situations.
No, I know some situations. I'm just going somewhere with this. But in that, I feel that on certain things, but in other areas, I feel that if you miss out on the opportunity, it's not going to come back. It's going to pass to the next person.
Exactly.
And so I believe that our decisions affect us in decade spans. So it's like, it may come back, but it may take 10 to 15 years to come back around for you to get it. So now you kind of put that dream that you pursuing is delayed, and you may give up on it within that 10 years, but it came from a decision that you didn't make, or you didn't jump on that opportunity, you know. So
yeah, I've been in that, especially in not so much in the acting industry, because like I said, I don't even think, I'm not gonna say I'm not a candidate for this topic, but because the way I move, I'm sure I may have missed something. Right. I'm sure, because everybody may have missed something.
And it may have been something little.
It could have been little.
Right.
But for me, I'm usually the one that jumps, even if it's not such a good idea, and I have the ability to find something great out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, like say for instance, I did a lingerie show about 4 years ago, right? I was the creative director for the whole show. I created about 8 or 9 scenes out of the show.
So y'all was assed out the whole show?
Yes, ass, titties, you name it. It was a lingerie show, but because I like to do it classy.
Where's my invite?
It was, where was your invite?
Go ahead.
I think I did. I don't remember. But anywho, it was about 4 years ago. And it was, it looked like a great thing to do at the time, because me and the girl collaborated with her lingerie line and then my creative expertise, and we put the show together. But nevertheless, I don't believe in all that trash talking, but it didn't work out. But what came from the project itself, for me being dedicated to the process and through the project, everything else after that, our videos went to 12K views. It was like, it was a big thing. To this day, I'm still getting notifications after 4 years. So it was a big deal.
But that wasn't a missed opportunity, though. That was an opportunity that you actually
jumped on. Right. But there was still some regret, but I turned it around and made positive things happen within that moment of, damn, I shouldn't have did it. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so I think what
so I can't speak on the
you can, but let me break it to you like this. So say when I was my senior year in high school, I was getting ready to go to college, and we had signing day, something called signing day. For those who don't know, you go visit the top colleges that's recruiting you. They fly you in, they take you all around the campus, they show things like that. So when you have those options, I think more or less that's when you know you missed out on a good opportunity, when you had options, right? If it was the only thing that you had to do at that moment, or that was the only door that was open, you're going to maximize it. You're going to take the good out of it. You're going to do what you can, working with what you have. But when you have options, that's when this title comes in, right? So you get what I'm saying? So say, okay, I had North Carolina State, I had University of Minnesota, I had Michigan State, I had Central Florida, I had all these colleges, D1 colleges, and options just laid out, at the house, coach's mom cooking for them, just, it's a good time. So it's like, all right, so what decision you gonna make on signing day on February 2nd, that first Wednesday? I end up signing the University of Minnesota. Retrospect, I think I passed on a better opportunity, which would have been North Carolina State.
Why did you choose that versus what was your better option? Did you know it was a better option before you chose? Like, what made you choose what you chose?
I think Minnesota was a great option, to be honest with you. Like, I should have stayed there. I shouldn't even came back to Florida International. But when I was weighing out the options at that time, Minnesota was a running team. North Carolina State was a passing team. They had Phillip Rivers there, the quarterback in the NFL right now. So I was looking at that landscape like, man, if I go there, I'm not gonna get that many rushes. Not knowing that things can change when you go there, just go off what you feel. But my heart was telling me to go to NC State, but my mind kept saying, we in the Big Ten, you playing Michigan State, you playing all these Ohio States. Man, I want to go out there too. Like, so it was a matter that I was a young boy. I didn't have understanding of the business of college football, and I didn't have counsel. Like, it was like everybody was telling me, you make the decision. This is the next 4 years of your life. And I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And I'm asking y'all, where do you feel I should go?
Like,
So when I go and sign to Minnesota, now everybody come back in retrospect.
You should have did. You should have did. I hate that shit.
Shut the hell up. I
hate that shit. I shut them down right away because you should have told me what the hell to do. I don't ask you unless I know. I mean, if I didn't, if I knew the choice to make, I wouldn't ask you because apparently I'm in a position where I needed help.
So Minnesota is like what you're saying. It was something I tried to make work, and I should have made it work a little further. But in retrospect and all that I know business-wise, my heart was telling me in the right place, NC State. Because everything economically, like the location, like everything was there. Like even
was it there,
after career.
But it wasn't there during the decision-making process.
I didn't have an understanding. I couldn't identify certain things. I couldn't see it. So when we talking about ain't worth the time, I think that's what's the biggest thing with us. We don't have understanding of certain things or how the cycles of life work or how the person.
Like we kind of got to have it written in every single aspect to actually be like, oh, okay.
Or how about just think about those successful cases that they make the right decision because they have good guidance around them. They got good counsel. And so when you talk about ain't worth the time, we're talking about a mental that is developed on solely, I got to survive. I got to make this decision. I got to do this. I have to do this. And it's never relying on the people around you to help you make that decision.
It's a selfish kind of thing where you think, I got to make it happen. I got to. And because, a lot of times people are afraid to ask for outside influences because you have the percentage of people that's going to be yay and a percentage that's going to be nay. And I think that's what kind of makes it harder too. The more mouths in the decision-making process makes it harder to decide.
But that's the mentality
your
too.
Future. You get what I'm saying?
But here's the difference.
So that's why people feel like you have to hear it all so you could decipher on your own. You know what I'm saying? But some people don't think like that. They feel torn.
Here's the thing. It's mainly our community. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, because in other communities, they teach to don't be afraid to ask, and if you need help, ask, and they help each other.
I can honestly say I am a clear victim of that. I don't like to ask for help.
That's both of us.
Fear of throwing shit in my face.
Okay.
That's my problem. If I'm gonna ask you for something or I'm gonna say something, don't throw shit in my face when it don't go the way it's supposed to go, or don't do that shit to me. Or if I say, I need help with anything, it could be advice, it could be money, it could be anything.
Right.
Oh well, and then it goes to throw it back in my face, and I don't like that shit because
you gotta do
I came to you because I needed the help, right? And that's my biggest issue, and I think because of how we were raised, that has shown us how to behave, to be self-reliant. And then therefore we self-reliant, so the pressure falls on just our shoulders. But at least I know I could trust me, and I'm not going to throw nothing back in my face.
Right.
Whereas somebody on the outside, because 9 times out of 10, if they're going to throw it back in your face, 2 or 3 people already know about it.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like now I got to feel isolated in my space with you. And so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so know. And then they get loud about the shit in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a whole dynamic that happens. So I can honestly say I do not ask for help much for that reason. Because
I think that's both of us.
I don't want to.
We're both guilty of that.
Throw shit in my face.
I'd rather struggle and do it on my own. I'd rather give my last dime instead of ask anybody for anything in order to get it done.
Oodles and noodles for the week, bitch. Right. I ain't asking for nothing. Finger up in the water, like thumbs up.
But look at that mentality and how it's setting us back. So we say we want to move forward as a community. We want to move forward as a people, but it's hard to do that when you're afraid to ask. It is.
I've gotten better with it, I must admit, because you know what made it better for me? It made it better for me because I changed the circle of my friends and my people who I'm around.
They made you comfortable.
It made me comfortable to come out, and they made me comfortable in knowing that they were standing by their words in terms of I got your back,
right? And
no judgment here, and I got you, sis. Versus making me feel like it's going to be thrown back at me somehow. I got nothing but love and reception from my newfound family. You know what I'm saying? And I think it makes it easier to open up because I'm a guy's girl. I always grew up with guys, hang around guys. So I get it with the guys, but when it's girls, it's a very draining energy being around a lot of women because it's a lot of emotion around it. So,
but y'all all great at healing each other too at the same time.
And that's why it's so important. Once I found out what sisterhood was like,
but here's the crazy thing with that, like you can have that circle, right? Like you and your girlfriends, we'll just say that, right? And they can tell you, look, I know you love this dude, but this dude ain't good for you. So now we go from not having the counsel and guidance to having it, and you just ignoring it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that you it's an easy way to pass up on stuff because you wasn't paying. But
attention. I would rather my friends tell me that Toddi, you don't do that. That nigga, he probably got something. We'll leave him alone. You know what I'm saying?
Toxic.
I mean,
and they can see it from a mile away, but you're not paying attention to it.
And see, the thing is, they can see what I tell them. Right. Even if they never met him. But if you know a side of him that they haven't seen, I think that's what holds on to that's what you're holding on to, that side of him that you guys don't know.
But that's what I was getting at. No, I get you.
So sometimes they could say that, and it's only based on what you said. And that's why I say it's not always a wise idea to run and tell that about everything that's going on.
True.
Because they take those little pieces that might hurt my friend.
They just form their own story with it.
And they form their own story. So, but I think once you create a certain circle or a bubble of people that you're around that can actually truly be like, listen, I already know you don't want to hear this shit, but I gotta tell you, I'm one of those persons. You have the hard conversations with me, and I think we was talking about this earlier, and we could squash the shit and move on.
Right.
I might not, but I need on the receptive side. I need you to understand. I'm gonna hear what you're saying, sis, but I'm not gonna be able to break every chain right now. So just because you hear me still talking about this same dude in another week don't mean in a month he gonna be in the picture. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
I think people want to right now kind of.
Right.
You know?
But I also too don't want us to miss over that coming from that survivor's mentality where we come from, like where we is scarce of people that we can trust. That develops that mentality that I don't want to hear nothing from nobody else because I made it this far on my own. So why should I listen to anybody, even if you have trusted people around you? So it's like you still have to deal with that mentality. Yeah. Like that's that mentality to say, prime example, wanting my first car. You want something flashy.
You do.
You want something that's gonna be appealing. First. It's not even a hoopty, but what happened with is flashy more important or is something reliable more important?
Yeah, the engine.
Right. Not the custom rims and the paint job. You got the speakers in there, but the engine ain't worth shit. The transmission ain't
sitting in your
nothing.
yard for 2 years.
But it look good.
But it look good as fuck.
With a candy coated
we can
paint.
take a picture in front of that motherfucker.
But you can't do nothing with it.
You can't do nothing with it.
But it's not reliable.
Right.
And I think, and many times when you have that survival,
kind of friendship is like that. Be flashy, but not reliable at all.
Not flashy, but
not
reliable.
flashy. Right. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can have friends with all the bells and the whistles, but they don't come with no substance. You know what I'm saying?
But even if they're reliable, if you're not in a place to mentally does it matter?
I think it kind of does, because if it's not a reliable source, then it can go in either way. It could influence you in the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
So we are saying that our friends around us they influence us in our decisions
to some level. Because if you really have a leader spirit about you, you'll be fine and you can sustain without being what's the word? Influenced.
Right.
You can live your life without being influenced, but the exposure makes it a little
we are directly and indirectly influenced by things around us. Like, that's why I said, like, growing up from that survivor's mentality to grow up to that point where it's like, I don't care, or I don't want to hear it, because you feel like so it could, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it could. I see what you're saying. I just feel like on some level, that's how some things penetrate. You know what I'm saying? Over time, things can penetrate. But I do know I've been friends with some people for a long time. And I don't take away the friendship part of it, because I don't necessarily listen to everything they say.
So it's kind of like, I think we talked about compartmentalizing our friendships.
Yes, because
so
you have some friends that just know some stuff that others don't.
Or you just got some that you don't give access to come into those like inviting them in your closet to see those skeletons. Sometimes you just keep them out. You have some that you may go out and hang out with.
Yeah.
You have some that
like some of your friends are judgmental. Like I have a friend or two that they don't judge me, because I'm a special kind of person. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of my clause coming in. Got to accept me for who I am. You know,
don't deal with me at all.
Yeah, because this is who I am in my core. You know what I'm saying? So, but you do have some people that do have these small judgments that change over time. Like, I remember meeting some of my friends at the beginning, and I would just ask them, "You a little bit judgmental, ain't you?" You know, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I am. How you know?" And I'm like, I can see it when you look at certain stuff. I can see your you know, how you look at something or how you approach it. Right. And based on how you approach that situation, it might make me rethink or reconsider how I say something to you, or if I'm going to say it to you at all, because how you judge the last situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a general.
No, I get that.
It could be a general thing.
They're not in a place to give you healthy advice.
Yeah, and it could be as healthy as they know it to be.
But if they're in if you know that they're in a judgmental place, why would you try to get something beneficial, especially if it's vital? Yeah, like with a decision that you have to make. Like, they might don't like it because of the way a person wears something or the way they display their, like, they'll give you any reason. See,
that's when I take the initiative to explain to them what's in front of them instead of letting them even get to that judgment point, right? So if my friends see something, they're like, why would she put that on with that, you know? I'm like, well, maybe it's because she a little fluffy. So most of the time what us fluffy chicks do, we wear a high waist pant so that we conceal a little bit. So she probably cropped out. You know, you get what I'm saying? It's like, right. I think it's also an opportunity to also share wisdom too, because you're on that side of the fence of you don't want the judgment, but they probably have never been exposed to that kind of lifestyle. So it's your job to kind of teach them, to make it a teaching moment so they could take the judgment out completely.
And even beyond judgment, when you just know that the level of where people are and where they're trying to aspire to be in life. So it's kind of, the friends are important around us, because we can't elevate if we got people who still too grounded. So if you're trying to go somewhere and they're not trying to go there, they're comfortable with where they are, they're going to tell you to pass upon a lot of opportunities that may separate you guys. So
or they're going to pass you because they, which person you talking about?
No, I'm saying, so I have a decision that could possibly elevate me in my profession and what I'm doing. But them friends don't want you to go because they don't want to be challenged like that. They don't want to have to go like that or deal with you separating from them. So they'll tell you something that'll deter you from making a decision to pursue that opportunity. Right. So it's very important. Like, I know we like to say we compartmentalize the people around us, but the people who are close to us have to have that same drive, that same mentality. That not saying they have to do what we do,
right?
But they have to be passionate about what they do. So we could be successful, whether it be my friend a construction worker, my other friend a realtor. I'm doing entertainment, but they're all thriving and we're motivating each other like that.
So let me ask you this question then, because say for instance, we have our friends, we have different kinds of friends. Like I said, I got all kind of friends. I got ratchet friends, I got bougie friends, you know. Do
corny.
you think, very corny. I'm corny too sometimes. But do you think having those kind of friends around you, I would say those less fortunate, those who are not as informed on certain things or may not have had exposure to what a more well-off friend has. Do you think it kind of keeps the humbleness at bay, or do you think that person I'm trying to see how can I word this without it being so it makes sense. You know, having somebody around that is a little less accomplished, it's always keeping that. Is it a reminder to the person who's less fortunate that this person has been able to go and get a house, they were able to get a car, they were able to achieve a bigger promotion. That person who is not in that space, do you think they can actually learn something from them?
Some people just don't want to, and you got to be able to accept that. Some people are comfortable being the janitor in the building. Some people are comfortable being that 9 to 5 at the drive-through, you know, working at McDonald's for 20 years, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, but they driven for
or
their
they're
own
just
purpose.
Comfortable.
Okay.
So
comfortable,
comfortable, and there's nothing. If you're a person who's comfortable, we're not judging, but we're talking about people who we know that have passed up on opportunities that could have excelled them in their profession and life, right? So
that happens in couples a lot.
Right. We could get to that next. So when you talk about the friend that doesn't aspire like you aspire, it's a thin line, because you don't want to. If that's your day one, they're there for a reason. They've been there through tough times with you. They've probably seen you go through some of the roughest battles that you've been through in your life. So it's not a matter of cutting them off, but that's what I was telling you. It's distance may happen. Now distance may happen. Where we hung out every Friday night, now it may come once every 3 months, and that doesn't say that our friendship is more or less. It's just saying that I'm going after what I said I was going after. And if you don't understand that, and what happens with most people is they begin to judge the people who are
you
excelling.
think you all that now,
right?
You
ain't got time for us no more. But you don't come around and hang around us no more. And it's kind of like, no, I need you to understand. So it has to be a level of understanding across the board. Now, when you go to what you just said with that relationships, that happens more often. People pass up on opportunities because they don't want to displease their spouse, right?
Yes.
So their spouse likes them in a certain
realm.
Pocket.
Yeah.
Just stay in
I
that
need you
pocket
right here.
right there.
I need you
just
at
stay
home
there
with the kids, or I need you in
or
this
get a
job.
9 to 5 with a 401k.
With a 401k.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and I think that's what happens a lot in relationships. One person is always accommodating the other, you know, and you miss your life, your soul's purpose, your soul's mission. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Satisfying the other person.
Right.
Now, when it comes, it's so different from what it is when it's a relationship standpoint, as far as friends are concerned, as for when it's in a relationship being with your spouse.
They're both the same kind of though, because
they're kind of the same. But
there's one thing we don't choose in life, and that's family. Everything else we choose.
That's family. But when it comes to your spouse, it's on a more intimate level. So some things that I will do with my spouse, I won't do with my best friend.
It better be like that.
And that's what I'm saying. But that's what makes it a little different.
Right.
Because I share children with this person.
Right,
or I share a life with this person. We share vows. We
have
share
investments together.
We have a life together. And when I'm not with my friends, you still my spouse. You get what I'm saying? Right. So there is a feeling of obligation in terms of doing what you can for that person. But when a person becomes comfortable, that's when codependency starts. Or withdrawal, you pull away from
it's when people overcommit themselves. So they commit themselves to the role that spouse expects so much that they lose themselves. And that's why I say overcommit.
People lose themselves a lot.
You can commit to the relationship and not lose yourself. Me pursuing this does not say I love you any more or less.
Right.
It does not say I don't want to be with you. It's not saying that when I'm gone, 16-hour days, or I'm doing this and doing that. That's not saying I don't want to be with you, but I'm doing something that is bettering us.
Exactly.
Right. So,
but then there's come some resentment because now you're not here, and how are you doing this for us when what I want is you here? You know, so there's a lot of resentment
compromise
there.
Too. That has to be compromised. So even say when I was doing music,
like date night
I gave up.
Is a compromise. You have to compromise, but sometimes it's not enough.
True.
I've been there.
No, I get what you're saying by not being enough, or it's just that person not wanting to understand what you're doing or don't agree with what you're doing, right? So we talked about how it may be a spouse that wants you to have that comfortable job, but you're pursuing something that's not comfortable.
Not so comfortable.
The income is
I'm
not
okay
steady,
with the comfortable.
but the income is not as steady.
Yeah.
It's like you can't rely on this. You may get 3-4 months worth of pay, and it's like, all right, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the other couple of months. We got to budget this the right way. But some people like to be in such a comfort zone, right? That those rocky things is like, yo, I can't do this.
Like comfort zone financially, okay, I get. Comfort zone as far as growth, growth. In internal growth, does it look the same? Because I think they skew the lines a lot.
No, but that financial, the main reasons relationships break up is for finances and sex.
Yeah,
those are the main two, right? And so when you got somebody that's working a 9-to-5, bringing in a steady check, and then you got the other person, they're bringing in money, but their stuff is just not reliable as day in and day out. But it's coming, and they're working. It's not like they're a bum on the couch or they're just sitting on social media all day. These people are putting in the work. The opportunity just hasn't presented itself, and there has to come a level of sacrifice.
That sounds like the acting world.
No, that's what I'm telling you. Like, not just acting. This sounds music, acting, directing,
I'm just saying, like,
entertainment,
the artist,
in itself.
As an artist of all types and kinds, and you could paint portraits all day, and then you got to sell them bitches.
Entrepreneur who first starting a business.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
Those people who jump out and say, I want to start this business, but it's gonna take a level of sacrifice on us financially. Some people not willing to do that, and they'll pass up on the opportunity. Who's to say in 5 years? You're making what you making that in a day, what you was making in a year.
Yeah, and that's I think we kind of touched on this on another topic, how people can't see where you're going, so they stop at the end of the street when you want to go a couple more blocks, but they can't see past that street. Vision. They being followed. They follow
what they trust in what they see. That's all they can trust,
and not with faith. Right. So it's like, now here I am, I'm pushing, I'm still on this journey. I'm on this journey for us, and I seen it. Like, God showed it to me. You just got to stay focused and fixed. But the other person just don't see it.
Right.
So then what do? You know what I'm saying?
You got to make a decision.
You got to make a decision. Just like you do with your friends. You have to say, well, now we go to date night. We was going every other day. Now we going every week or every 2 weeks. And now we don't go at all. Right. And now we don't. And I can honestly say, in my position, I kind of had that situation with myself where I created date night. I would create date night, and I feel like the person that's lacking somewhere sometimes is usually the one pushing the most to make it work. Because there is a lack thereof somewhere else, so you're
or they're being made feel that there's a lack somewhere.
Yeah, so of course that's why they work as double time.
But that's the manipulation in the situation right there.
And
it's
that's
not
what
an
I did.
upfront thing. It's not an understanding, because I get what you're saying. When I was doing music, I would give up on certain concerts just to be around But me, honestly, although I could say I missed out on some opportunities that could have furthered me musically a lot faster, I had intentionally set my mind to say I wanted my kids to know who their father was, and
exactly
that they was 2-4 years old at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to be.
And you wanted to
daddy?
Be present,
right? So it was. I was willing to pass up on those things, but then you have those people who pass up on opportunities because they don't want to work. So we think about this generation and the things they want it right now. They want the microwave mentality. But you talk to or hear the stories of some of the successful people that we know in society.
Quick.
They interned, they sacrificed, they slept in the cars, they did all of this type of stuff.
Especially a lot of the actors. Like I spoke to some dude, I forget his name. He was on Luke Cage. And he spoke to me and he said, I drove up to L.A. and I slept in my car for 3 months. And then I got Luke Cage, and then he got some other stuff after that. And it was like, some people make those major sacrifices. Like Viola Davis, one of my idols. I love that lady. She actually started on Broadway. Like, she did a lot of Broadway shit first. And then she started to just flourish. You think you just see them in How to Get Away with Murder or on
as
Help.
If they didn't put in years
as if they didn't put in years. But then when you see a lot of videos, you're like, wait a minute. That's to Taraji P. Henson.
Right. Tiffany Haddish.
Or Tiffany Haddish.
These people putting years of work.
See, but I've heard, I don't know a lot with Tiffany Haddish. I heard that she wasn't putting in much work. She was just discovering on.
We never know the details of everybody's stuff, but we just know that there's a level of sacrifice in order to get success or in order to get what you want. But like I was saying in the original point, like the mentality of this generation and the people that we see now that we come across, they don't want to work for it.
They're really quick.
They don't want to work for it. And that's why I give kudos to our cast with Teach His Own, because we sacrificed and compromised to be able to come together to build something together, because we was looking at the long term and we was like, yo, this is an opportunity that can help us all and help me individually. Like, because you got to think, your individual goals are important to the overall vision as well.
Exactly.
So it's putting in the work, sacrificing and developing it. But most people pass upon opportunities because they don't want to put in the work to develop it. And that's relationships, that's jobs, that's career. Like, I don't want to deal with it if I got to put too much work in it.
Yeah, and not realizing that the hard work is what really gets you by on those tough nights.
I think you talked about that. Days. Yeah, you talked about that. Even with the woman you are, it became because of what you had to go through coming up, and not just as a young parent.
As a young parent,
just as a young parent,
I was like 22 when I had my first kid. And even though that sounds like you out of the teenage years and all of that,
you're still finding yourself.
You finding that's the fun years. That's the years where you're supposed to be having fun. You're supposed to be in a sorority.
Your whole phase.
You know, right. Well, yeah. Thank God for most people, yeah. See, I was tying down knots. You know what I'm saying? I had children. I had one kid at 22. I should have been out partying. I should have been in a sorority. I should have been pledging. I should have been in college. You know, so it was a lot of things. And just so I could make this very clear, I didn't want to go to college because I felt like college wasn't for everybody.
True.
I went to college at 28 years old when I knew what I wanted to do.
Say that.
So that way I didn't keep changing the major 5 and 6 times because I can't figure out what the fuck I want to do with my life.
Sidebar. Don't go to college and waste all that financial aid and be in thousands of dollars of debt and you don't know what you want to do.
Exactly. So, and also, side note, my student loans are paid off for 10 years.
Ooh.
So I don't got that problem no more. You get what I'm saying? I was 28 when I got into college and I paid that thing off by the time I was like 32.
So we know that people our age, right? We know. By seeing online, they flying out, they going to different countries, and us having children in our 20s, you know, having our kids, establishing relationship, our investments and things like that. Is there a slight part of you sometimes that look and be like, I think I missed my window of opportunity?
No. I used to feel like that. I ain't gonna lie. When I used to see people traveling, I'm like, dang, I want to travel because I didn't travel a lot because I had kids, you know, and it was hard. But now the joy that comes to my face when I get to travel now, it feels like, okay, I earned this. I earned this goddamn trip. I put in my time. I did what I had to do, and I raised my kids. You know, if I hadn't had my kids young, if I tried to have kids at my age right now, I'm looking at my life right now.
Right.
I wouldn't want kids.
Boom.
Because I've been so by myself for so long. I wouldn't even want to have any children and bring them into this world. And then by the time I have, a 10-year-old, I'll be, 50-something? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How can I really enjoy my children at that age? Not to say that people can't, because
a lot of celebrities. My youngest uncle is younger than me. My grandma had him in her 50s.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just never know.
Right.
I didn't want that for my life personally, but I didn't even say I was going to have kids at 20-something either. It was just like, it just kind of happened.
It fell in place.
I found a man that I wanted to have my children with, and I did.
Right.
And, you know, but when you get to a certain age, you already know it's a grace period. Then your biological clocks are ticking. And then you meet a guy, and then you're like, okay, motherfucker, it's about that time because I'm like 35 years old, and I got to hurry up before I don't have, so I don't have any children with disabilities or whatever. So it's like a whole rat race to create a family, and then it puts pressure on the other spouse.
You go, like, even if you do find the right person, sometimes, like, that person is beyond it. That's the reason why they never got into it earlier, because they don't want that life. They may want you, but they don't want that life.
And you know what? To be honest with you, that happens even in a dating game. They want you, but they don't want your life. So it's different. It's different stages. I would say every lifetime is a different lifetime. Like in the beginning, I'm happy I had my kids early because I do have other lives that I'm responsible for, I really don't know how much I would get done if I was single. You get what I'm saying? Like, not to say that I'm
what you mean by how much you would get?
Meaning,
to me, I would think you would be a workaholic and have the children
of course,
not be here.
Because I'm still a workaholic.
Right.
But I'm saying, I when I look at my kids, they are my purpose most of the time.
Yeah,
like when
your
I look
motivation.
at them, my motivation changes. My motivation only lasts a few minutes versus a few days. You know what I'm saying? I don't have room for developing any type of
you can't sit in a dark
up.
place too long, right? Yeah, you can't sit there. You got to go through the moment, process, and it's like, yo, I got to get back up on my feet. I got to get back up because
I got this little girl pulling at my skirt saying,
right.
"Mommy, I want to eat."
Right.
Or you get what I'm saying? I got the school calling me, telling me I need what. So it kind of holds you accountable for life,
right?
And taking care of the children that you brought into this world.
You developing those children has developed you into a better woman,
into a better person.
So even with you, like you said, you going to see the world now, it's a whole different perspective on it. But now you're able to come back and that what you've been developing,
enjoy the life that
and even share it with them,
share them parts of my life, and then want to take them with me, and then. At some point, I think we spoke on this before, visit my children in their different worlds. I now I have something to look forward to. And then even when they're too old for me to be in their damn face, I'm going to be in my grandkids' face. And so my life will never change. My life will always be changing in a way where I always have something. Whereas I waited too long, and now I can't give myself a family, me and my husband a family. You know, that's why a lot of and not to take away from anyone else who's, because everybody does treatments because they have to, like fertility treatments and stuff like that. A lot of people have issues with having children, yes, but a lot of women of a mature age, over a certain age, have a more difficult.
It's a risk factor.
It's a risk factor now.
It's always been a risk factor throughout history, like with women having children, kids. The risk of life and death.
okay, catch your own mistakes, okay? Because ain't nobody want to think about it but you.
So it was always a risk with life and death with birth, period. But when you're talking about getting up in age, like that risk factor starts to go way up. And up. As a man, I wouldn't want my woman to risk going through that. If that's what it took to have another, have a life, to bring a life in this world. So
yeah, and see, but sometimes you got to understand the maternal instincts of a woman. Like when that clock is ticking, it's not, and it's gonna sound so selfish, but it's not what you want. It's what she wants to give you and what she wants to give herself. It's kind of like it's this song called "End of Time," and he talks about leaving a legacy behind. He wants to impregnate his woman because he said, if I die tomorrow,
that's our greatest creation.
Right. I want to have a baby. Would you have this baby with me? And it kind of makes you feel like, yo, I want to be able to do this. I knew someone who was pregnant and decided to keep her baby, and she had cancer. She decided to keep the baby when she found out she was pregnant. And she was like, if I pass away, then I know I left something behind for not only me, but for my husband.
Something that's more
in memory of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she actually did pass away. Rest her soul. She passed away. I think the baby was 6 months when she passed away. The cancer had gotten worse, and she passed away. And me and her were pregnant at the same time, so it was kind of a hard thing for me because she used to do my nails, and she wanted a girl and I wanted a boy, and I had the girl and she had the boy. So it was like a whole thing, and people don't understand legacy and how it works and how you want to give something to somebody or how you want to give something to yourself to move on.
But I think people do understand legacy. What happens is
outside people looking in.
But people choose the career legacy more than the family legacy nowadays. I need to get this paper. I need to get this house. I need to get these cars. I need to get this. I need to get that. And then when you do think about this, it's like, damn.
Now you go to that big ass house by yourself.
I ain't got time to do this. Because even if they do have a successful pregnancy and birth later on in age, all that you was working for, you more than likely devoting your time to that. So you're not even properly parenting.
So let me ask you this, because I heard a pastor. I can't remember his name. Y'all know I'm terrible with names. But it was terrible. Shut up. I had a pastor. I heard a pastor say, he said, it's best when you meet someone to already be established in your career or in your, in your line of work. So when you meet the person, that person knows who you are and what to expect when they meet you and what your life looks like.
But that's
but
risky.
I don't. It is. And I say that because a lot of people don't know themselves until they start being in the presence of somebody else.
Or it's like we believe when you're at 21 you should know what you're going to do, but that's not necessarily true.
That's not
People
true.
are
It
still
depends on where
finding
your
themselves.
life put you. Like me, I feel like I'm starting over. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what the track that your life took.
Right.
Now, in that aspect, what he was saying about already being established, knowing what you want to do. Okay, on some level, I get it. I know I want to be an artist. Okay, let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that I'm going to be my best me. Sometimes there's someone else who brings out the best in you. So when that person comes into your life, they have the ability to influence you in a way that makes you want to be better in a different way than what you've normally been. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when I heard that, I kind of agreed on some level, but then the other part of me was like, when you meet someone, sometimes someone else has the ability to give you a feeling of euphoria that you wasn't able to give yourself,
right?
Or the way that you think, or the way that you look at things, because now you got another life, that you so closely knit with.
Traditionally, I would agree with the statement because even in African traditions, when you come get the woman, you got to already have a place set up for her. The father won't release the daughter unless they know that you're financially stable for it. In the day of time that we're in now, a lot of couple success stories you hear that they started from the bottom and kind of grew together. So they didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
They wasn't established.
Right.
You
They grew
tell
together.
the story. Right. They grew together.
Yeah.
They evolved together. And although sometimes we do grow and they go into these different lanes and directions and things like that, but it's still, we can't put stuff like that on the table because people gonna miss out on perfect opportunities all the time.
Yeah, like right now I can honestly say I know a lot of guys who say, oh, I want a boss. I want a girl who got her own this and her own that. But then when you get with the girl, she's so busy in her paper, she's not thinking about your ass.
Oh, so I need you home more. I need you here.
Right. And it's like now you mad, but that's what you asked for.
Right.
Instead of, and I'm not saying you pick up a girl and she ain't got no, job and she not, you know what I'm saying? Right. I'm not saying you do that.
I think that's actually where the conversation came from. Pause. Hold up, we was talking and we was talking about how,
yeah, that's what I said.
We were in the car, me and Malcolm, and
we was driving where it came from.
And we were driving from the Dale store. And we saw a young lady walking. We knew she was young. And it was like, wouldn't even give it the time of day. She walking. You know what I'm saying? Because us was like, we dealing with women who are bosses, who have their own. So like to us, that'll be a downgrade to go backwards, right? So, but then we have to come back and rewind that because there's like you don't know where that person at in life.
Exactly.
Like me, because I like walking.
She could probably just walk.
Like I like walking around.
She might have just come from the store or something.
I walk from block to block. I just walk around, but that don't mean I don't have a car.
Exactly.
That don't mean I don't have a house.
Exactly.
So it was a judgment on the surface level. It was, but that's what it told.
But if it wasn't on that level, like real shit, if it wasn't the girl just walking down the street, is that something that men actually consider once they've been?
Nigga, y'all consider it. What are you talking about?
No. Let me get my statement out because this.
Sitting on.
Okay, well, that was the 90s or the 2000s.
That's not the mentality now.
No, but listen, I do think women are a lot forgiving, in a lot of ways they are forgiving in some way, and if there are, I do.
If he laying that
if he laying that good dick, listen.
But we talk about the initial.
But we talking about the initial.
Seeing them initially.
Yes, because women naturally are nurturers, so we naturally want to help our man.
Ain't nobody trying to baby no Negro.
I'm not saying I would. Shit,
Okay.
I'm speaking for the general. I'm not speaking for my goddamn self. I'm just saying. But then you got. I'm asking from a male point of view. You say after you've dealt with bosses, anything else will be considered counting your losses.
But I did say with that
But y'all reanalyze.
I retract it.
I got it. But what I'm
aspects.
saying is, do you think that's the mentality? Now y'all were different because y'all actually retracted. Y'all actually thought, well, wait a minute. Now what if
we only retracted about what we just said.
But how many men would do that?
We can
because initially you meet somebody who might be that way, right? But then on some level you say, guess what? I meet this girl and she ain't got that much or whatever. I think she is completely not even a consideration. She just sex right now, or she just something right now. Like she's automatically in that box and not knowing what her aspirations are or nothing. But y'all retract.
Can I talk?
I mean, I guess so since you're giving me the dirty looks. I mean, I listen.
It's on you right.
Everybody got them triggers. Everybody got them triggers.
No. But I get what you're saying. The reason why I retracted because, like I said, I like to walk around the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So if somebody was judging me from the outside, they wouldn't even know.
No,
so you have that on that aspect. But even if a man does see a woman walking, see a woman catching the bus, see a woman where she's at right now
in that moment,
that's still a deadly place to judge her at that place, because that she could be sacrificing right there, going to school, but she's going to be a neurologist, a pharmacist, a doctor, so she's in school for all of this
she
stuff.
Could be on break,
right? But you're judging her from what you're seeing in her appearance right there. I think that's very, very
and
dirty.
This is why I push the envelope for dating. Let me tell you something. A lot of, like you said, a lot of the new girls, it is mostly women bosses. I'm a boss. Okay, yeah. But you got a lot of guys that also, on some level, don't believe in dating anymore. They don't believe in courting anymore because they like, I ain't finna pay for no free meal and no free drinks, and then I don't get no pussy at the end of the night.
You're right. It's an expectation from it. Right.
So back in the day, there was courting.
Oh, yeah, you had to court for a minute.
You had to court. And you had to, before you got puss, you know what I'm saying? You had to just talk and sit with somebody. And that's how you create a connection. And that's what's wrong with the dating game now. They don't create a connection. They drop dick pics in your DM and think that's a connection. That's what the new connection is.
But then I say that's why people pass up on stuff, because they don't want to take the time to work and develop it.
And develop. That's the work that got to go into it, is the courting, the conversations, the round drinks, and having a good time and vulnerability.
Everything happens so fast for this generation that I think that they don't realize that love is one of those things that you can't rush.
You gotta nourish it. It's like a plant.
You can't put, all right, by this date it needs to be at this point. It's kind of how can you say that right now? Like,
I want a whole fucking tree by the end of the year. No, you gotta plant the seeds first, dog, and water it.
Me and Eric was listening to something where the dude said that his wife told him that after they got engaged that they wanted to get married within a year. Right, so she had gave him a timeline with an expectation. So if I need you to fix the damn door in the house, it's an expectation, goddamn it, because I need that goddamn door fixed.
But when it comes to lifespan and stuff like that, it's like it's kind of hard because shit happens.
Or long term, like say if I get an artist, so say most of the CEOs that are presidents and CEOs now, or most of these Def Jam, Universal, they started off in intern positions. Even if you look at somebody, I don't agree with them all the way, but you got somebody like Diddy. But they took these diamond in the roughs. They saw something that nobody else saw. They saw something and they polished and worked and developed.
But you got to find the right person willing to polish the diamond.
But that's what that's what we come from. We're bred from developing, working, nurturing, cultivating. Now it's like, ding, I need it done right now.
Well, do it your goddamn self.
Negroes don't even cook the same no more. They get these dinners that you just pop in the microwave.
Yeah.
Where's the love in the food to take the time to marinate it, to develop? Like, there is no
marination period.
Time is enjoyable.
The thing is, time is valuable. Time is wonderful.
And we getting cut off.
And people need to get time to coat.
All right, we getting cut off here.
Okay, let's cut it off.
In there.
It's all right. We'll get back in.
Don't be rushed. Cut it off. Damn.
What? No, I'm just saying. You the one brought it. Okay.
All right, she gonna change tones now while we go into our next segment, y'all. We gonna go into Memoirs of a Mama.
You're so high.
Welcome to Memoirs of a Mama. Now, Memoirs of a Mama is where women, mothers, get to vent about all the crazy shit their kids do or all the stuff they got to go through just being moms. All right, so today, my mantra today is going to be tomorrow is a new day. It's a mantra that I use often, and it gets me through my day pretty much. It kind of reminds me not to let the wrath of your day go down on you, in a sense, where you're having a pretty bad day. You just say, you know what? I'm just going to let it go. And then tomorrow will be a new day. Just let it go and let God. It's easier said than done. But just let it go. At least let go the emotional parts of it, because I think that's what builds the resentment in the relationships that we build with our children. So I use this mantra in my parenting because I do believe that anything that happens today doesn't necessarily have to follow you into the next day. Just wipe the slate clean so you could think clearly and have bigger and more important conversations with your children without the pain of dealing with whatever that was that you were dealing with. So if you can just take time to just breathe, smile, stop, and remember that tomorrow is a new day. And in that moment, nothing else matters.
Welcome, 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 my fellas, gentlemen, kings, young gods. Y'all know what time it is. This is Diary of a Dad. And this is our time, our moment, our space where we get to come together, that we get to talk about what it is to be the black father, the experiences that we go through, and, try to come up with some solutions and some thought-provoking topics that may make us better as fathers. All right, so I want to get into this today. Today, I want to read something to you all, and I want to expound on it. It says, I never want my kids to mess up and think, Daddy's going to kill me. I want their first thought to be, I need to call my dad. This is a very serious one right here because now we're talking about the mentality of our children that we're developing as we raise them. So if your child doesn't trust you, or rather I should say, normally the child feels it's okay to go to the mom to talk about those things that they may be fighting with, struggling with. But I believe in this day and time, we have to make it acceptable for the fathers to be that safe haven as well that the children can come to. And I'll give myself as an example that this is a learning experience that we're learning as we go, especially when we didn't have a father ourselves to teach us. A lot of things we have to retract, we're unlearning to relearn type things. So one day my son came home from school. This was about a year and a half ago or so. And he came home and he was just crying. And I'm like, yo, what's up? What's up with you? I never discourage crying, but it's like, what are you crying for? The reason why you're crying. And he was like, well, I was on the basketball court and these 2 8th graders came and they pushed me and took the ball away from me. So in my head, I grew up in the inner city. I grew up on scrapping and fighting all the time. So my first initial thought was, well, you crying because of that? Why you ain't do nothing about it? Right? And he walked away just looking so defeated to the point where I had to come back about 30 minutes later and was like, you know what? That's my fault. The way I was raised is not the way that you were raised, son. So we started talking about self-defense. We started talking about how to protect yourself. We started talking about how to avoid those type of situations when you see them coming and even pay attention to it. So in that moment, I was able to correct a mistake I had made with my child, and that could have been something that hold long-term consequences later on that he would have never came to me and talked about something more drastic down the line. So what I'm saying, fellas, is do you want to be a prison warden or a safe haven? Think about that. All right? We want the slurp. We don't want the pop. Oh, we recording. All right, y'all. This is our section, our CTA, where we give y'all a little bit of mind food. All right, y'all.
Or brain food.
You can get that brain. All right, y'all. This is our section of mind food where we give you a little call to action. Solutions basically to everything that we've been talking about in this episode.
Yeah.
Ain't worth the time. That was a good conversation, for real.
Or is it?
It's a necessary conversation. It's not good for people who not willing to receive it, but it's a good conversation and topic to have to bring up, especially when you're passing up on stuff that could benefit
you
and the people
stop
around
being
you.
afraid to, ask for help.
Let's get these people some mind food. You ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Oh, that means me go first. All right. So I'm all right. I'm gonna tell you simple like this. Everything that glitters isn't gold. What looks good doesn't mean it's good for you. Think about it. There are those who fail to see the value in the little things or people in low positions. Then there are those who see treasure in trash. Which are you? Life is about the choices we make and the people we give access to in our space. Think about your choices and the opportunities you're passing. And that's my CTA. Go.
Okay, Morgan Freeman.
You feel me? Discovery Channel, holla
Sounded
at me.
like God on the mic.
I got you over here.
Where the gray hair at? Okay.
Fuck you. Give the people some mind food.
All right, y'all. So I want you all to
Wait, time out. She just pointed at the gray hair on
on your chin. You got one in your nostril too.
I be trying to cut that shit.
I just ain't want to say nothing.
That shit be hanging.
You gonna have to tweeze that little motherfucker. You had to tear up in them eyes for that little motherfucker right there. You gonna have to get a little teary eyed.
I shouldn't even put that on.
And blame it on the movie you watching or something. Just
man, give him the CTA.
you had to cry a little bit for that little grandpa.
Man.
That's a grandpa.
I ain't dying my shit either.
Don't die. Don't Beijing it. All right. So I want you guys to think about this. Just create a life that is created in time. Choose your friends wisely. Because we are directly or indirectly affected at some point. So stop judging the book by its cover and take time to read the damn book. And in that moment of judgment, you have the ability to turn it around and make it a teaching moment. You know, life is too short not to live it. So make sure you live your life with no regrets. Because guess what? Nobody else gives a fuck.
Ooh. You heard that.
I felt that one in my pelvic bone.
Ooh. Should have bought a Honda.
But I bought a Sebring. Mama say, mama sa, mama kusa.
Mama say, mama sa,
Makusa. Yes. I said that with intention.
and conviction.
Yes.
Felt that in your balls.
Well, I ain't got balls.
I just wanted to see if you was on point.
I was. I'm gonna leave that to you. I'm gonna leave that to you. And it's so hot in here, y'all. Speaking of balls, they probably sticking to his thigh right now, y'all.
That's why your titties all out. Sweaty titty be.
Hey.
Sweaty titty be.
Hey,
Sweaty
balls.
titty be.
Balls.
Sweaty titty be. Sweaty titty. Hey. Hey. I ain't one of them niggas. Them niggas be having them big balls out there.
I'm down for the brothers with the big balls. I ride for the cause like shooting yourself. Now let me stop.
All right, y'all. That was our CTA for this episode.
You know it's hot because he's scratching on his armpits, y'all. A Negro only scratched under his armpits for 2 reasons.
That wasn't even the armpits.
Or nervousness.
That was not even my armpits. That was my rib bone.
Lies you tell.
That was right here. Man, whatever. We need y'all to do a couple of things for us. We need y'all to follow us over on Facebook and Instagram at No Titles Necessary. And be sure to follow us because, trust me, we are very active on the page.
Very active. And you can follow us on Twitter at No Titles Podcast. And if you have any questions or any comments that you want to add, you could go ahead and email us at notitles.necessarypodcast@gmail.com.
Boom. Ooh, killed it. One time. No retakes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm hype. I was trying to be a hype man because you've been fucking up.
Oh, fuck you. No, I have not been.
You've been fucking
Listen, you the motherfucker that's scratching on your armpits and saying children.
Oh, you the one that's
Children
scratching
of
in
the
that
corn.
dirty ass rug on the top of your head.
Nigga, you was laying on the same rug.
You know. Hey, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining us this episode. We're going to make sure y'all holler at us on episode 12. Or make sure y'all holler at us, but we'll be here. Y'all just make sure y'all here. All right?
Who's fucking up now?
Bye. Peace. Intro to the outro.
You doing too much now.
Fuck you.
Yo, woke up feeling good, feeling better. Thank God for this weather. What you wanna do today? Yo, whatever. I be talking to myself, cause I know I get her. Yo, she dope and I love her. You would too if you met her. You be stupid to let her slip out of your vision. She be on the next flight for you see that she missing. And I know you don't get it. I just need you to listen. Yo, never let a nigga mess with your intuition, man.